Hello everyone, it's me, your favorite sex ed podcaster Tim, here to tell you that I have partnered with not one, but two new sex toy companies to give you the best pleasure ever. Kiru and Luxus Amsterdam are amazing companies that I have partnered with to give you some really cool toys. Kiru, Kiiroo, has amazing masturbators and butt plugs and dildos and sleeves, and Luxus Amsterdam, Luxus Amsterdam, they have this really cool toy that syncs for two. So you have like a vibrating cock ring and like a vibrating clit vibrator thing that sits on your clit. You know what I mean? And when they're syncing together, they start to vibrate. So the more you thrust, the more it vibrates, and you can totally like control it on your phone, which I think is amazing. Oh my god, I love technology. If you head over to either Kiru or Luxus and then you get yourself a toy, use code SEXEDWITHTIM and then you'll get 10% off your purchase on any regularly priced item. Kiru, Kiiroo, or Luxus, Luxus Amsterdam, and the code is SEXEDWITHTIM for 10% off. Have fun! Yeah! If you're looking for adult content that's not just another cookie cutter experience, you need to check out Erica Lust. Erica Lust is an award-winning filmmaker and a pioneer in feminist adult cinema. Her platform, ericalust.com, is built on the values of diversity, consent, and ethical production. That's so cunt. In a world where mainstream porn often misses the mark, Erica stands out by prioritizing female pleasure, cinematic quality, diversity, and inclusivity. Her movies focus on storytelling, character development, that's not something you see these days in porn, which is amazing, and real human connection, all filmed through a female gaze. That's Gaze. Or gaze, whatever you want. Now, here's the best part. For our listeners, you dearest chlamydiates, we've got an exclusive deal. Head over to ericalust.com, that's Erica with a K, and use the code TIM45LUST at checkout and get a massive 45% off your subscription. You'll get access to Erica Lust's entire library, which includes over 200 original films and guest-directed content. Again, that's ericalust.com with the code TIM45LUST for 45% off. Go explore something different because pleasure and quality go hand in hand. Last time, that's ERIKALUST.com with checkout code TIM45LUST. ericalust.com, TIM45LUST at checkout for 45% off. Mwah! The Sex Ed with Tim podcast is recorded on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaty, signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands.
You're listening to Sex Ed with Tim.
More a part of it.
So cute.
Trying your best.
I forgot. What did you want me to address you while we're recording?
Oh, what?
Do you want your sex worker name or your government name?
Sex worker name.
Or
government name.
I don't know.
I think the government name out of it, I guess. Until I get my career. Mm-hmm. That's completely ruined by that fucking decision.
You got it?
So we are recording.
We need to toast.
Toast, eh? Yeah, cheers.
Toast with joy.
Want to join? The joint.
And then the drink is
well, I'll be trainer ass with that. You did anyway.
You know, that's what I appreciate Because you kind of clocked my emotions and my mental state before even I did.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know me so well.
Well, it's facial reading, of course, right? Facial cues and all
Well,
that
yeah.
stuff.
Do you think that's something that we learn as sex workers?
Oh, obviously, absolutely. Like, we have to read emotion within the first 5 minutes of a client walking in the door to monitor your safety, and that comes along with reading facial expressions.
Yeah.
But I've also been a teacher for circus for 10 years as well. So I think teaching a physical activity, I don't know, also makes me maybe more in tuned, noticing frustrations when it comes to activity.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've been watching and doing it for so long. So it could be a mix of both, for sure.
And we've been working together for, a year now? Mm-hmm. It's crazy to me how in tune you are and how efficient you are at catching my behavioral stuff.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the reason why I'm working my way into being a psychiatrist,
right?
Therapist. It's always been kind of a special skill that I've always held, is my ability to be aware of others and how they're feeling. On a darker side note, we know that stems from child abuse. It's not exactly... a lot of the times, right? It can be learned through, historical and cultural contexts and whatnot, but I think a lot of that comes down to just navigating difficult childhood homes. You have to read people quick to navigate difficult situations on your feet, rather young. Yeah. And then, our brains and muscles, so as we, keep harboring those skills, they're going to get sharper and more, in depth. And
do you fall in that category of the sex worker with a troubled childhood?
Yes and no.
Say more.
So I've met sex workers who've had tremendous lives, who've had great parents and great parental support and went into it strictly by choice. Have I read the studies, or have there been studies done upon sex workers who entered either through economic means of force or through choice by sheer confidence, or is it circumstance, right? That can be applied to almost a lot of our job choices, right? How many of us are living our dream jobs, period, right?
That's true.
And what got you into that situation? Was it economic, or was
when I got into sex work, it was more of just this is an avenue of income for me, and I seem to be pretty good at it, so I'm going to capitalize off of it. But also, it did help pay my way through college.
So that's the caveat, right? Sex work money, it comes in and out of your pocket so fucking fast, and I can't explain it. It's almost like drug money, right? It comes in and out. It's cash that flows. It's hard to hold on to. It's like quick cash comes with a caveat, right? It's kind of that double-edged sword. Call it the money from the devil always comes with a cost, right? And the cost is the money can never stay in your pocket, right? Minus the expensiveness of this fucking city within itself, of course. That's also a factor in. But even before the plights of expensiveness, when I first started the work, it still was relatively money that just flew out of my pocket. It was this easy to spend. I don't know why.
I hate that there's this sort of juxtaposition that being a sex worker is more prominent in a very busy, rich city, but sex workers are seen as kind of the lowest of the low, as exhibited by some of the art that you've made, how we look down on sex workers,
So you're
why do sex workers congregate in an area that looks down on them?
Well, I think in any aspect of society, sex work has been looked down upon. You can go back historically, say to the time of Babylon, where you look at goddesses like Ishtar and even goddesses Isis and stuff, who are more around like sex worship and the appreciation of sex work. Like, I don't know, in parts of ancient world, like women would go to temple to learn to be sex workers because the sex worker was a tool to civilize man, because men were at war fighting all the time. So sex workers learned the art of not only taking care of a man, but civilizing man. So like
make them come.
So like there was not even make them come, but like there's the other aspects that we will talk about that comes along with sex work. They were taught in these temples. So, and then if my brief understanding of history goes along, the rise of, Islam and Judaism and Christianity, all within 1,000 time that span of each other, created that hatred towards women, right?
Yeah.
Like you look at post-Jewish, post-Christian, post-Islam faith, women were very central in creational stories. Or you look at indigenous stories, right? Feminine females ran the leadership roles, right? So I think it was through, culturally shifting, religious shifts to where sex work was to this point of demonization. We're seen as a plague on society. We ruin nuclear families. We do all the things. But I think we congregate in larger cities is because that's where the work is.
Yeah.
I worked in Halifax of a population of I don't even know, 120,000 at the time, maybe.
And you're from Saskatchewan.
And I'm from Saskatchewan, and I've hooked in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
I've worked in Saskatoon and Regina. I've worked all across Canada in different cities. But you're always going to make the most money in the biggest city. So Toronto is always going to be your center station.
Right. Or Montreal. Or
Montreal,
not even?
no, because Montreal boys, there's too many of them. And they are bare minimum 50 to 100 less per hour than Toronto boys.
Why are they charging so cheap?
It's always been a Montreal thing. I don't know why. Oh. It's always been a thing I've noticed in Montreal. You always made less. I just don't know if it's because of the economy in Quebec has always been relatively, say, more affordable compared to the rest of Canada. I don't know.
Yeah. Or what about Vancouver?
Hooking and Van. Van is also a very small population, right? So I've been flown to Vancouver for Pride, for events. I've had things like that. Again, the population, it's population. The most money I made was going into the States.
Yeah.
Because sheer population, right? Me going to Hong Kong, when I was in Beijing, all these places that had exorbitant human population masses, you flip it.
Yeah.
Right? Toronto is not a flip culture, right?
It's not a flip culture?
You're not flipping clients.
I see.
You know what I mean? It's not happening in a city of 7 million people,
sure.
With our kind of, especially now with things, and as I'm retired.
Yeah.
I guess this is your retired hooker interview. But I did meet a lovely man who, through the work, James, who allowed me to retire. Because, being 13 years in that industry, it's going to wear and tear on most.
You called it quits after 13 years.
I mean, it might have been longer. I would say 13, 14 years, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you, talk to me about the very first time that you can remember?
The
year one?
Worker? My first year?
Yeah.
So I moved around a lot and really trying to find my place in the world. And I found myself in Halifax when I was 19. And I fell into hard times. I couldn't get onto unemployment. I was opposed to welfare because of prejudices from my own family. And I was making jewelry for a drag queen on the waterfront. I forgot her name again. I remember it again because we're re-recording. I want to call her Safanda something. I can't remember.
You can call her Safanda.
I would call her Safanda, but that's not it. I'm so sorry. I love you, Stephen. Oh, brilliant. And we formed a really tight bond, right? And we were sitting there and And he was a sex worker, I guess, in Toronto for 10 years before he relocated back to the city. So he had an idea of how the industry works. So yeah, that's kind of like how he got, and then he was my first client, right? So he wanted to show me the ropes, like, you know, the ins and outs. It was very teacher-student environment. I'm very thankful for, right? Like
Did it feel administrative?
Yeah. Like he was like, this is what you do. Like this is like, he gave me percentage. Like it was like, in 1 hour you have 25 minutes of this, and you have 15 of this, and then you got 5 of this, and he would calculate it out. And then he also taught me about the legalese of how to talk to clients that kept me out of trouble, right? So like at that time, sex work, we were at the best stage we were at, which is, it's not illegal for me to sell, but illegal to buy, right? So you still have to play that song and dance of how to talk.
Yeah.
So you're buying my time.
Right.
You had to be careful with services rendered, what I'm going to do.
Well, because that's kind of it, right? Like when people purchase the services of a sex worker, you're paying for their time, not for the activities that you do within that time.
Oh, then that's the biggest misconception of all.
Yeah.
Is my time. Like if you're hiring me for an hour of my time, it's that hour of my time. And if you wasted 45 minutes of
just talking
to me as I try to get you to the bedroom, I've lost a lot of clients because of that argument. Like, look, I am not a clock watcher. I've never had a clock in my house because he taught me that as well. Mm-hmm. He said, never have a clock in your house. Clients notice.
When you're always looking.
They notice. Yeah. They notice. And like, he taught me all that. So I was very keen on that aspect. So if we float over 10, 15, you know, it's human nature. It happens, right? But like floating over half hour to 45, you're getting a 2-hour deal here, right? It's because, you know, yeah, like that's hard.
Yeah. Like for me, I would just like set an alarm, you know?
But then again, you're timing them.
Well, I wouldn't be paying attention to
when the alarm goes off. The client knows you were timing it. So like I had to become the best internal clock. Like I can now tell you exactly when an hour has passed. Immediately I can like, hour has passed. I know. It's like in my bones to know when my patience is running out. You know what I mean? Like
really?
My patience, I am very patient.
You have your social battery.
I'm very good. But like I know when that battery is running out. Yeah. Because I know I only have, see my rate of 250. And that's a 1 hour, girl. And that was it. Like you get the fuck out of my house. Like even though like, well, chit chat at the door and stuff, you're a human nonetheless. You can't take out the human. Because I think what made me, not touch wood, successful in whatever way you could deem sex work as successful, is I seen the human in my clients. And I think that made me a key distinction of a lot of the working boys in Toronto.
Because you're empathetic.
And the guy that I'm with now, he has tasted the flavor of Toronto, which I encouraged, you know, because he came out rather late in life. And he will say, most boys in this city are business. It is very much, you come in, I really don't want to kiss. Like they'll implement rules that were not agreed upon beforehand. So he'll come into a room and they'll be like, I don't do kissing, I don't do this. And he's like,
that's insane.
And that's, you know, this is only from one client's perspective. Sure. Obviously it could be different. But that's what he was noticing a lot with the boys that were happening in Toronto.
Yeah.
They weren't focused on longevity, I guess. Because it's like, when you get into this work, it doesn't go away. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, unfortunately, like, if my dear James, you know, I love him dearly, he's 70-some, but, like, if anything, God forbid, were to happen, it is the first thing that I'm going to go back to, right?
Back to hooking.
Right away. It's like, I understand the cost of my time, and it is valuable to me because 13 years of being nothing but a sex worker, like no 9-to-5 job, girl.
It's
like
well, you know,
all I've done is this. But I've also learned to appreciate life because I got to watch the world go by. I watch seasons change. I'm not tied up in an office. I'm not tied up at a serving place. I'm with my clients, but I have a lot of time to myself, and I had a lot of time to myself. And when I was hooking in my healthy state of mind, I utilize that as a form of like meditative time, of, you know, answering questions to things that I wanted to learn.
As opposed to hooking when you're not in a good state of mind?
Yeah, like what the turn that like, and we could, this podcast could go on for fucking hours with the amount of stories and leaps and like I've been through.
Oh, trust me,
but
my
like,
audience will watch, but they will listen.
Like, I mean, girl, it could be like a 7-part series. But when hooking turned bad for me, so I never did, like, I had a chocolate company, right? So I make raw vegan chocolate bars, and I was
which is so good, by the way.
Yeah, that you had
my parents finished it before they could even inhale.
I have more bars if you want to buy before you leave.
I'll let them know. Oh my god!
But yeah, so
really
I got engaged the first month of moving to Toronto.
Really?
So
you got engaged?
I became an escort in Halifax, I would say June, I can't remember the year, 21, 22, whatever it was. I moved to Toronto 3 months later.
Okay.
Because I knew right away, more money, bigger city. Moved into the Econo Lodge.
Econo Lodge, yeah.
Where all the hookers lived.
Yep.
I lived there for 3 months.
I'm aware.
3 months.
Yeah.
They let you pay in cash. They let you pay the day after. They knew exactly what I was doing. But
it's
I
like
landed
that
here.
place is designed specifically for sex workers.
It's been known, but now it's no longer a hotel. It's it's a halfway situation now. Yeah. But I moved down here with nothing more than, I think, $40 cash in my pocket.
$40 $40 in cash. Wow.
No one knew me. And no clients lined up. I had enough to pay for my hotel stay, but not enough for the deposit. So they weren't going to let me stay. And I looked at him and he's like, you better make your money tonight and come down tomorrow morning and pay the deposit. But we'll let you stay for one night, but make your money. Like, he said, but make your money. So, he was well aware of what I was doing there and what is happening in that scenario. Like, they were wonderful in a way, right? That they were well aware of.
So you were hustling to find a client night one.
My first client paid me $100. I remember him so well because I've seen him again for like 10 years. All he wanted was simple back tickles.
Excuse me?
Yeah, in his underwear, no sex.
Just like
this back tickles, back massages.
Wow.
His back. He was very geeky. He paid me $120 with a tip. So that was able to get me a meal the next day, because at that time I haven't eaten in a day, if not more.
Your rate plus tip.
Yeah, he actually was such a sweetie. It saved me. It actually, because like I was eating once a day. So I would go to either, at that time, Subway. Used to actually have deals. That made sense.
Yeah.
Even though we all know it's fucking garbage food. But when you're poor, you look for deals.
Sure.
But I would do like the $5 footlongs.
Yeah.
And that would be my meal for the day. Right? And like, and I hustled out of there like fucking mad. So that was my first client there.
And mind you, this was before like rent mandates.
So, So I come from the time of severe transition. So there were still streetwalkers at the park when I moved to Toronto. So online hooking was mostly resorted to Backpage or Leo's List or
Craigslist.
Like Craigslist.
Yeah.
It used to be the free pages, and then it transitioned to there, right? So there were still women who worked there. So what they would do is they would have one account on a library and they'd go check it out at the library. If nothing was there, they walked the streets, right? So I was still very much in that transition old school way. But my first site that I was on at the time was Canadian Mail. It was the most popular site, the only site in Canada for male sex workers. Still exists, actually. And so
shout out to Canadian Mail.
Shout out to Canadian Mail. They are wonderful. I mean, I don't know the outreach they reached, but they did bring me my longest lasting clients. Like, actually, like ones I still have to this day.
Yeah.
Like, know to this day. Still talk to this day. But I was under Backpage and Rent Boy. Remember Rent Boy?
Rent Boy. I know people who used it.
So like, Rent Boy was bigger than RentMan. Huge.
Really?
Massive. Yeah. It employed over 100, don't quote me on these estimates, but I think it was like in the estimate of like 100,000 sex workers. Like astronomical amounts.
Whoa.
However, their company was based in New York. They were raided. You remember this story, right?
I think so.
They were raided.
Yeah.
The guys went to jail. Site shut down.
Yeah.
Technically, it would have been the U.S.'s biggest job loss on record.
Oh my God.
So Rentman existed at that time, but it was very much at its infancy. So there was this moment of transition when Rent Boy went away. And it was fucking terrifying. Like, we had no way of reaching people. And it was like Backpage, Leo's List, they don't bring good clients. Like, they just never did. It was, unfortunately, it just brought slime, but if slime pays the bills, it pays the bills. But there was a point where there was a portion of Toronto called the Fruit Loop that did exist where male sex workers would work. Back in the 70s, it was off for the women's colleges, close to the bus depot. That's where it used to be. And Steven, the guy who taught me, worked the Fruit Loop Circle. So, like, he goes back to street walking days, right? So, like, that's why I love Steven so much, because, like, that's a hard bitch, right? Like, there's, like, the streetwalkers who are hard individuals compared to, I think, online grants us some element, even that might be false, sense of safety. But nonetheless, we can screen, though.
Yeah.
Your ability to screen a stranger, step into a car, is far more quick reaction than it is when you have time to think and cognitively process something, a request, right?
Sure.
So when Rent Boy went down, it was bad. I was hungry. I was starving. I had duct tape boots. It was winter time. I had no work. I was so close to walking the streets. I was even asking Steven where to go. I was like, where do I go? And he was giving me tips on how to be a streetwalker. And I was so close. And at this time, I was engaged with my partner.
Yeah.
And he gave me the book of seduction to better up my game, how to be a better seducer. And I know the book is out of date and there's a lot of
wrong terminology.
They have come up with updated versions. Thank God. I did not read those updated versions. However, I found the one that worked for me and I leaned into it hard and it did help.
Which was that?
Charming.
Okay. So you leaned into being a charmer.
Well, I can charm the pants off people.
Okay.
You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Give me an example.
Can't really give an example of charm, but like a charm is just like your ability to put people at ease.
Okay.
Your ability to carry on a conversation. Your ability to find topics in every single interest. Because clients come from all different backgrounds. But if you can know little bits of everything, you can always talk to your clients.
Right. I understand that.
Yeah.
I guess I was a charmer mostly because I was so good at being an active listener without actually retaining much of the information. Like you'd say something to me and I would just like repeat the last few words of what you said and nod so that I'm signaling to you that I actually received your message. But internally, because I was like fucking 19 years old, I was like,
Truth.
My first client ever was a woman.
Okay.
An old woman.
Nice.
Who just wanted someone to, like, talk to for the night. She wanted someone to, like, complain to about her grandkids never calling.
I mean, like, for me, that would have worked really well. Like, emotional, like, I'm not, like, I mean, I don't know much, obviously, up your family upbringing, but it sounds wonderful. Like, your parents sound great. Your mother sounds like a dream.
They want to meet you, by the way, my parents. Because I talk about you to my parents all the time, and they're like, well, you should have them over for dinner when we have dinner. So,
but like, you had this like great upbringing, and like, and not to saying that that's a hinderment at all when it comes to sex work, but it kind of works as a sense of a handicap in a way, right? Because like, you're walking into this idea of almost rose-tinted glasses because you're 19, your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed, your capacity of reasoning isn't there. You grew up believing the world is just and so because your parents have made you believe that because they treated you as such, as an adult, as a respectable member of your family, you know, and like, so you entered the world as such. So entering a world that is so different from yours could be so horribly damaging,
jarring
to someone where I've been listening to my mother tell me she wanted to abort me since I was 4.
Sure.
So like, the hearing terms like this about myself and others and being beaten and locked in closets and sexually abused and like all that, like I am that horrible cliche horrible childhood story with the caveat of wonderful grandparents who gave me the world. So I had my cake. I want to say ate it too. That's a wrong analogy. I had a good balance.
You had a cake and it was force-fed to you?
No, I take it away.
Take it away.
While the bitch ate in front of me. Yeah. So yeah.
See this bitch?
Yeah.
You like this?
That's what mom would do though. Like if she was mad at me,
that's
like,
crazy.
She would take us to the McDonald's drive-thru. She would order McDonald's for my brothers and sisters and make me eat a bologna sandwich all together at a dining room table just because
of how much she resented you.
Yeah.
That's so insane for you to, as a mother, to be like, I like all of my other children except you. Where was that vitriol even coming from?
My father.
She hated her father.
No. My father.
She hated your father.
Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
which in turn transfers that hatred to you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I look like him. I'm a reminder of her past. She was 17 when she had me. Like, let's be perfectly frank, guys. Like, I mean, people now have children in their 30s, right? If you look at, like, if you want to look in a historical context of child and family rearing, Indigenous ways of learning seen that you don't become an adult till you're in your 40s.
Really?
Yeah. So what happens in Indigenous communities is child rearing is done by the grandparents, right? Mm-hmm. Not the parents.
Right.
Yeah. Because they are the wisest and they're going to distill the most knowledge onto that child. So that's the kind of way, like, I was being raised by my grandparents was such a lovely reprieve to me. Was I felt like I kind of got that white version of being raised by grandparents.
I was also raised by my grandparents. For the first like 5-6 years.
I didn't even know that. Okay. Yeah.
Because my parents were always working at their 9 to 5.
So you had to be with working parents and so like we had working parents as well, obviously, but my mother didn't want me around at all ever, so she would leave me at my grandparents for weeks, sometimes months, and I wouldn't speak to her. Like I would nothing. Like she would just be mad at me, tell me to pack a bag, and she'd drop me off, and I wouldn't see her for 4 months.
And how old was she at this point? Like you were still a kid, and she'd be mid-20s?
No, even younger.
Younger.
So, she had been 17. She had my sister 3 years later, so she would have been 21.
Yeah.
And then she had Dalton 2 years later after that. So 23. She had 3 kids.
But how old were you when this was all going on? When she was like, "Go to your grandparents"?
Birth to not birth. So like my mother had me in Penticton, BC.
Okay.
She ran away at 15 for whatever reasons, is her own. But she worked questionable things. My father was a meth dealer. They lived in a trailer. Very rough life. She got pregos. My grandparents hadn't spoken to her in years at this point. She reached out because she's pregnant. And then she had to run away because of the child abuse that my father was inflicting on me. So then she came back to Saskatchewan with me, you know, so she would have been what, maybe going on 20 at that time. And then she met my stepfather, got pregnant right away, which I think was strategic because he was a very prominent member of our very small community. I'm from Saskatchewan.
We can talk trash about Saskatchewan.
Yeah, like I'm from a very small community, so her defense was I was looking for a man that was a provider for my children, and you know, I think she snagged him, which, you know, kudos to her. Use your brain, use your pussy, bitch. Good, right? Like, you know, she denies. She has false memories of her life and stuff, and she needs some therapy time. But yeah, she's done things, questionable things, like myself. Like her and I are so similar. It's kind of terrifying.
It's kind of scary.
Minus the sociopathic aspects. I mean, I am your straps coach. Maybe my mother comes out there.
I mean,
It's a little psycho sometimes.
when you were literally hitting me in the air like
I was beating you with a stick, and my mother used to beat me with a lot of things.
Are you projecting on me?
I mean, possibly I get my childhood frustration put out on my students.
Listen, I don't mind though, but that's me.
That's you.
I'm a freak.
All my students are freaks. You can tell they're all fucking masochistic.
Like, I know you were telling me to throw my arm in the air, and I was really trying. I'm like, why?
I'm scared fucking beat that. That's what my mother would do. She's gonna beat that into you. Right?
So where does circus fit in? Because you've been a straps coach, or at least in the circus for a long time now.
I've been in the circus world since I was 21, 22.
Okay.
Through my fiance. He was in the circus world with Jamie Holmes. Shout out to Jamie Holmes. She basically is like the godmother of circus in Toronto. There was no circus in Toronto without her.
Sure.
Really, at all.
Yeah.
So she created the circus world in the city. So big kudos to her. But yeah, so I was in silks, and I really enjoyed the workout. It was fantastic.
So your fiance at the time, when you moved to Toronto, was in the circus.
He was practicing silks. Like,
practicing silks, which got you like, I want to try this as well.
Yeah. Dude, you know, a couple-y things, right?
Sure.
Fell in love with it. And then how I got into straps was I wanted to learn roll-ups. And at that time, you have to understand, like, the circus world we have now is nothing compared to what it was like 10 years ago. Right?
Yeah.
Like we had old school teachers who learned from like old school Russians, right? So like the new teaching we have now is so like these new teachers like to pretend that there's a science to it, that there's this school of study to it and all this stuff. In reality, it's been made up by drunk carnies, and you just have to like be aware of injury and, you know, all this stuff. But like, so I was taught by these Mark, I love him to death, but he made me as strong as I am through his brutality. But he also used me as a lab rat to work out things which caused me injuries and stuff. But I became his apprentice, right? Essentially. So when Jamie finally opened up her Circus 6 studio from the other location, she offered me a straps position as a teacher. So I've been working for her the longest. I think one of her first 5 or 6 employees. So I've been teaching straps constantly since I was 25 with a raging GHB addict.
Which is crazy to me. Every time you tell me that, I'm like, how the hell do you teach a circus lesson while high on G? That's crazy.
We'll be right back after this commercial break. Yes.
Hey, you guys. How are you doing? I just wanted to interrupt really quickly between the show because I know you're like, oh, come on, get with more show, Tim. I want more. Well, hold your horses. I just wanted to bring your attention that I have partnered with so many different companies and I don't know what to do with all of this stuff other than to share it with you guys. Please check the show notes because I have so many discounts to give you at so many different companies. And what's easy is that the discount code is the same, Sex Ed with Tim. If you enter Sex Ed with Tim at the Twosome Project, you'll get 20% off any of the fun couples games. Sex Ed with Tim for Kieran Scale dildos, and it's 10% off. You get like this fun dildo that's shaped like a tentacle. You get 15% off at Love Shop for all of my Canadians out there, and you can get it for like, I don't know, any single toy that you want off their website that's regular priced. And then you also have 25% off Dale Kuda, who is one of the hottest gay fashion designers for fetish wear, for underwear, for basically, if you're a gay guy, you're gonna love his stuff. It's Sex Ed with Tim at all of these different companies. It is amazing. Please do not miss the chance to get these discounts. If you're ever wondering, I can't keep track of all of these discounts, check the show notes. The show description will have all of the links. I have provided it there for you so that you don't have to do all the hard work. Simply click on it. And all you have to do is remember Sex Ed with Tim for your discount code. That's for the Twosome Project, Kieran Scale Dildos, Love Shop, Dale Kuda. It is all there for you. Sex Ed with Tim for your discount.
The show is about to begin.
Yes.
So like, I never wanted to be the sex worker. I already had the one thing playing against me from a damaged home. I wanted to change the narrative of sex work. That has always been a prerogative and still is a goal while I work through my psychiatry, is like, I want to work with sex workers and I want to normalize sex work. And maybe we wouldn't have so many incels if we didn't demonize sex work so much, right? Like there is, yeah.
They just need to get fucked.
Yeah. And like if you weren't opposed to
purchasing the services of a sex worker, then maybe they wouldn't be such hateful little shrews.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but for some reason we demonize that practice, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, what point was I trying to get at there?
As an addict?
Yes. So I didn't want to be, I already had the perpetuating stereotype by coming from a broken home, which I did not enjoy. But I did not want to be the sex worker who was a drug addict. Because I always looked down on meth addicts. And because I don't know why I looked down upon meth addicts. I looked down upon drug addicts because I come from a family of alcoholics.
Ah, projection.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if I'm better than them, it was either drug addicts were worse in Saskatchewan than an alcoholic ever was.
I know that Saskatchewan is really bad. Has a really bad drug. Yeah, situation.
But it's worse with alcohol.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So when I was with Maverick, I've been an alcoholic actively since I was 18. Like I was drinking a 26 of whiskey or Wisers or vodka or spiced rum was my choice.
Just killing your liver.
But it was like, I grew up watching it. I went to art school in Europe, which was a very big drinking culture. And I came back with that as well with me. So it was still in the realm of communal drinking or like, not drinking alone yet.
Right.
That came later. But then I was still an alcoholic, right? So like, I was still battling that aspect of it. But then when I lost my business, right? I worked this business with Maverick for very hard, like for 4 years. We were in 70 retailers across Canada. We were just accepted into Longos. We were getting accepted into a Parisian our chocolate gallery in Paris. Like it was all going off. It was great. And I started noticing my partner changing. And I was too young and naive to know kind of what was happening to him. His mother had a history of drug-induced schizophrenia. Come here, baby. Look for me. Are you good with it?
Calvin loves me.
I know, I'm just making sure. You can sit with him right now. So his mother already had drug-induced schizophrenia. But I started noticing his tendencies were slipping. But he was brilliant. Like, I mean, that man was fucking human brilliance. Like, first love of my life. Like, French kiss to him. I think about him lots. I hope he's okay. He fell into meth.
Oh, shit.
Late after we broke up. But our business hit summer. And we just moved into a factory, which is higher overhead. And we were moving because if we had wanted a contract in Longos, we had to have a factory. It ruined us because it sucked up all our extra cash.
Sure.
So when summer hit, chocolate sales were down. I reached out to my stepfather, who said he would help me. Then he ignored me for an entire year. Another story for another day.
What the hell?
Called me Christmas the next year and asked me, how's your chocolate business going?
That's so shitty. What the fuck?
I have good family who love me dearly.
That's so fucked up too.
And also too, none of my family except my grandparents have ever bought a chocolate bar. I still make it to this day.
Yeah.
For 10 years. Never purchased a bar.
None of your family members have ever.
None, just my grandparents.
But it's so good.
But no one does.
Your chocolate is so
My family
good.
has a lot of resentment towards me. A
lot of resentment towards you that transfers into just not buying your chocolate.
They don't want me to.
They don't want you to succeed.
They don't like how well I left. I got out. I've been around the world 3 times.
Yeah.
I've done extraordinary things. I lived a life, I think, because like, you have to understand, I was raised by my auntie she was 15, my mom was 17.
Yeah.
I was basically, it's a weird household to grow up in, right? Where grandparents are similar to the age of parents.
Yeah.
Because my grandma was in her early 30s, like just turned 30 when I was born. So like it was a weird relationship between all 4 of us. But when my mother kicked me out at 12, like I was kicked out officially, and I came home to my stuff packed up in a box, all my room packed up, and she said, "I don't want you anymore, and call your grandparents, and
Stay with them.
You're done."
Yeah, God.
I don't love you. I'm done with you. 12. So I
12.
called my grandparents, and they lived 4 hours away. And I waited on the stoop of the front. They wouldn't let me stay in the house. And I waited on the stoop. Well, I waited for my grandparents to come pick me up.
So a 4-hour drive. Jesus.
Sat there and waited.
Oh my God. Why did she kick you out at 12?
Well, she kicked out my stepbrother at 16.
Okay.
She left me alone all summer when I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
She took my little brother and sister, who are the children of my stepfather, with her on a vacation. She left me with like 4 cans of tuna, a box of cereal, a jug of milk, no money. Gone for a month. I was delivering papers since I was 8 years old. And it was 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Monday through Saturday, rain or snow. And the most you ever made was around $70 a month.
What? What?
That
What?
you had to go collect yourself. So I had to do door-to-door collections. I had to do, so like my mother's like, well, you got your money from your route, you'll be fine.
That's crazy.
And so I was involved with some like there's nothing to do out there. Like, I was living in Saskatoon at this time. Right?
Yeah.
So I was growing up in Yorkton, which is 4 hours out of Saskatoon. I was staying with my grandparents, which is Ebenezer, which is 15 minutes out of Yorkton. I was there all summer. And on my last day, I was getting picked up, and I was 12. My grandma told me I was crying all day. And I was being picked up by Mom. Mm-hmm. But she said there was something different about this. Like, it was I was having panic attacks. They pulled up with a U-Haul, and they walked up to my grandpa's house, and they said, "We're moving to Saskatoon today. You won't be seeing for a while." And my grandparents were used to seeing me almost every weekend, every summer, because we lived so close to each other.
Yeah.
I lived in Othen with them, which is another hamlet close by of 150 people.
Sure.
And she's like, "You're not seeing your grandkids anymore."
Oof.
And took off to Saskatoon.
Oof.
And I was 12 at that. No, I was 12. I was in grade 8 at that time. No,
12, 13.
No. I was in grade 4 at that time.
4?
Because I lived in Saskatoon from grade 4 to grade 8.
So
I would have been
grade 4, that's like 9.
9 years old.
Yeah,
I instinctually knew that there was something happening that was going to be. And then, so what I would have to do, because my mom was so mad at my grandma, that I would have to call her collect every night.
Yeah.
I would call my grandma and collect. I would have to come home at 3:30, call my mother, make sure I was home. I had a list of 65 chores that I had to complete before she got home at 5, which included washing floors, bleaching floors, cleaning the rooms, vacuuming, doing the dishes, cooking dinners. And this was shared with my stepbrother. It included lawn care, laundry, lists upon lists.
It was a literal laundry list.
Every day.
Jesus.
Every day with that family.
My God.
Yeah, it's Saskatoon. So I got into a background. And naturally, right? You're 11, 12, 13. Your mom's a bitch. She took you away from basically everything.
Yeah.
Right? Fuck you. So I started huffing at that time.
Huffing like paint?
Paint thinner. I was huffing.
How old were you again?
12.
You're huffing
11.
You're huffing glue and everything at like that young?
10 to 11.
Jesus.
Yeah, we would take bags of whiteout, we would dump it into a bag.
That's crazy.
And huff it, or we would steal drugs from. My friend had a severely handicapped brother. Oh, I'm going to get a lot of trouble for this. When we were young, we would steal his medication. No! I'm sorry to that family, but I had no prefrontal cortex.
What did you steal?
Like, we couldn't read the prescriptions.
So you just stole random meds?
Yeah, you take handfuls of them.
Oh my God.
We'd have parties of pill parties, right?
Okay, but like, that's medication. Like, what if it does nothing for you? It's just like, it's a blood pressure medication or something.
Everything just had really high heart rate.
That's so funny. It's just...
Yeah, it was...
You're just playing Russian roulette at that point because you don't know what these meds are doing.
But I was playing Russian roulette with my life because I was constantly being told I wasn't
good enough. Yeah.
Like, my mother told me she hated me every day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, every day. I was told I was useless, stupid, ugly, stupid, ugly every single day. So, like, what the fuck you? Like, what's the point of... And then I was going to Catholic school.
Which another layer...
Okay, like, my mother put me in Catholic school since kindergarten to grade 8. So I had that whole other fucking level of shit. And to piss off my teachers, I would draw pentagrams with women crucified.
That's so
in them,
funny.
And I would leave them around the school.
I love that.
Until I got caught. And then my mom got called in. And she had to talk with G. She's like, no, my mother wasn't religious. She told the my mom had her moments where she did stand up for me, where she told the teacher, he's in grade 8. He's pushing the borders. Calm down.
Yeah, relax. That's a child.
He's a child. He's going.
Let him explore.
And like,
be
so like,
stupid.
I found tarot cards in my mom's drawer. So that was my first introduction. So my grandma was very much Calvin, you're fine. So my grandma very much was in the belief of God resides inside of you. And if you follow Jesus' teachings, which is just kindness, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what I was always grown up with. But then you're thrusted into this heavily Roman Catholic. I was not just Christian, it's Catholic. It was a Roman Catholic institutions, which are so fucking intense. Right? So
you don't have to tell me.
You know, you're from fucking Philippines.
I was born and raised in a Roman Catholic family, Filipino Catholics, and I went to a
They take it so fucking seriously.
I went to a Jesuit school. I don't know if you know what Jesuit schools are.
Oh, yes, I do.
It's Catholicism on steroids.
I know.
It was an all-boys school. No wonder I became a faggot.
Oh, girl. Like, honey, but I will say this. Going to a religious school, though, because of the curiosity that I had, I appreciated it because it got me to look into other religions, right? So, like, I got to look into, like, aspects of Wicca and paganism and witchcraft and, you know, all these different things. But that inspiration came from, like, reading the Bible and being like, there has to be more to this narrative, right? There has to be other perspectives. So I appreciate that in its finest, right? Like, but the reason I was put into that Roman Catholic school was because my stepfather's family
was Roman Catholic.
Hungarian Roman Catholic.
Okay,
So which are even fucking more intense if you can think about it.
Sure, yeah. My God, that's so insane.
So like I had that religious upbringing, but my mother was not religious at all. She's now into tarot cards and angels and astronomical signs. She's in more of a realm that we can kind of have decent
New Age.
I have to talk her out of shit of the secret. Like, I'm like, bitch, you can't just wish for shit and do nothing, you know? Like, action needs to be taken, you know what I mean?
Secret is so...
you know, it's
my God.
But, like, her and I have...
The whole law of attraction thing.
So she's entering her age of spirituality. And I remember when I entered that, right? So, like, when I was, like, moving to Ebenezer, leaving Saskatoon had a population of 360,000.
Wow.
So, large. The largest city.
Yeah.
To Yorkton, a farming community of 20,000.
Yeah.
That's to Ebenezer.
Yeah.
Of 200 people. So
200
like people, and which is like 20 minutes outside of Yorkton.
Yeah.
Right, was such a shift and a jump in like in everything, and how I had to adapt and change to a rural setting. Again, I lost my train of thought. I love marijuana. But having to move around like that was challenging and difficult, but where were we going with this? I totally forgot.
Well, we were talking about like your history with your family, but I kind of want to know how that ties into how you became the person you are today as a sex worker, because that kind of shit fucks someone up. And now you're able to be like this heart of gold kind of sex worker, which I applaud you because I'm not. Come on, you're going to fucking Montreal to see someone for free?
Yeah.
Because they're dying?
Yeah, well, I've known him for 10, 13 years. Like, it's
like, how does someone with that insane family history and background turn into someone who's well-adjusted and does things out of the kindness of his heart without any sort of ulterior motive? That's wild to me.
When you grow up watching so much pain. So my mother inflicted pain not only on me, but my stepbrother. She never touched my siblings. And then when Dustin was kicked out, she started inflicting more pain on my sister. And then, like, I seen pain inflicted physically from my grandparents, and I seen pain inflicted, like, I mean, my grandpa was very heavy-handed for a while. Saskatchewan people very heavy-handed for a while. And just seeing hurt, and like I understood hurt. I got it. Like I wasn't loved. Like I was told I wasn't wanted from the day I was fucking conceived. And like to have that as your first memory of your mother is I don't want you. Like I was allergic to her breast milk. Like allergic.
Really?
Allergic. I used to projectile vomit across the room. I couldn't even go near her breast milk. That's how repulsive my mother I was from birth. We couldn't
digest her own.
Yes, that's the connection that her and I.
Wow!
Right?
My God.
So yeah, so when I coming into sex work was like. So when I first started sex work, I was a practicing Zen Buddhist. I listened to Alan Watts daily. I meditated 6+ hours. I prayed over crystals. I believed in the power of chakra balancing. I believed that good energy put forth comes back. I believed in the karma wheel, in the aspect of like you do good, good comes back to you, and not always constantly, but
Sure.
If you try to be good, people will be good in return. And I held that belief, and that was my religion. Like I walked around barefoot with feather talismans, right? Like I was
Insane.
a weirdo. I was a fucking weirdo. Like I would sit and talk to a tree for 20 minutes because it had a soul, right? Because I believed in that stuff. So my ultimate quest at that time, surprisingly, from between 17, 18, 19, and 20 was enlightenment. I was searching for enlightenment, right? Like to live in the now where the present doesn't exist and the future doesn't exist. The past doesn't matter and the future doesn't exist. And to be in the now, that is the ultimate goal, right? Because time is our currency, right? And that is all that we have. Mm-hmm. So when I started sex work, it became, I entered it already in living in that mindset of spirituality. So in order for me to process the traumas of sex work, like we can't go to therapists after you just screwed a 600-pound trucker for the first time, right? Like there should be a therapist to go talk to after
about the horrors that you did.
You just fucked a 600-pound trucker in Dartmouth at a strip fucking motel. Like, you know, for $150, and you know, you're like,
then you're in fetal position.
and you're sitting there and you're like, okay, and I'm an alcoholic too, so I'm drinking and I'm using alcohol to process this, right? So yeah, so let's not forget about that trauma aspect of it. But when I came into it, it was like, I realized the closest that any of us ever came to a point of nirvana, which is spiritual enlightenment.
Yeah.
Is when you have an orgasm.
Oh yeah.
You're living in pure pleasure, and there is no past, and there is no future. There is the now.
You surrendered yourself to the sexual energy.
Not even surrender. There is the moment.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, that's why I'd like
everything lives in its simplicity.
Yeah.
So this is the simplicity of the moment.
Yeah.
So I felt what helped me cope through the traumas of sex work, because there are traumas of sex. I'm not going to be that sex worker to say that
it
is
very much
trauma.
is. Yeah, there is trauma.
It is trauma.
Yeah.
Every client you take is a bit of trauma.
Yeah,
like you can't sugarcoat that. There's forms of PTSD, absolutely, and it's sad that none of this is barely even studied.
Yeah,
but so when I was approaching it that way as a facilitator of enlightenment, I started realizing that the conversation, the opening up that they needed to share, giving them the enlightenment, and then the sharing that came afterward was much more profound than the sharing that came first.
The pillow talk is way more genuine and authentic.
But then it was like I knew they needed it, even though I wanted to kick them out of the bed. But I would hold their sweaty asses and let them talk and let them go through it, because I know what it's like to go home to a shitty situation.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to come home from school and dread it. I know what it's like to just want to kill, I'm not gonna say it out loud, but like unalive myself because I had a lot of moments of that because I did not want to go home. And I looked at these men as like, I seen that behind their eyes. That like, right now, if you can't see a lot of what you're seeing, if you want to actually show a preview of what the hooker environment is. But it's a
vibe. It's an ambiance.
It's an ambiance.
Yeah,
I created this soft environment where like things drive conversation. Like that's a piece of artwork. That's a piece of artwork.
Yes.
That's a piece of artwork.
Yeah.
That's a piece of artwork. So like everything jumps up conversation, and then they get relaxed and they get calm and then they unclench, right? And that to me felt like a service. So like I'm sending forth somebody who feels better. Like I remember because I worked with a girlfriend at the time. We were living together, which is illegal in Canada, prostitutes. You cannot live and reside and work in the same household, or it's called a common bodied house.
A body house, BAWDY.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, for all you don't know, be wary of that. However, so her and I worked together. She straight world, me gay world. So it was quite
You're getting
adventurous house. It was an adventurous house. We had a lot of stories. But she said, and I would notice too, like there was a lot of working boys and girls in this building. And
this building alone.
Tons.
Yeah.
I can pick up a client in a sniff. I know the look, I know the nervousness, I know all of it, right?
Yeah.
But when clients would leave, like so Jade and I would either wait downstairs, either upstairs or in the hall in the because we always lived in a corner unit.
Sure.
In the stairwell.
Yeah.
Right? And you hear their sex noises, whatever, depending upon how fast that client was gonna be. But Jade and I started noticing when our clients would leave, they had the stupidest grin, and I know it went far surpassed. The the light show. So,
no, it's fine.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna put that. This shit got real, right?
Like whoa,
I know,
but it's okay.
I need no wrinkles. There we go. That's better. Soft lighting. Soft lighting, girl. I don't need to show my fucking groceries. But what we noticed was this like happiness, and you could feel it. Like, I don't know if you believe in empathics or an ability to be more empathic than others, like picking up on certain emotional cues that others are giving off.
Sure.
I believe I learned that through survival techniques as a child, that I had to learn to trust people quickly, intuitively, who were going to take care of me, right? Because my mother was so vicious. So I had to find those quickly enough to preserve myself.
Yeah.
Right? So
what happens if you don't find that then with a client? You don't find that safety within them.
So here's something that's funny that I learned. Oh, safety. The safety. Well, that's a topic to talk about.
Yeah.
So, yes, I've been raped 3 times. 3 times?
You beat me. Only twice for me.
You know, 3 times.
I'm gonna get another one and then I can catch up to you.
No, please don't. We don't need that fucking trauma.
No.
I mean, we're old enough to cope with it, but back when it happens in our work, and it's something that we don't talk about, and it's not exactly.
Wait, it happened for you during work?
All 3 times.
Because for me, it happened outside of work.
I've been raped 3 times in work, and I've been raped 5 times outside of work. From my drug days. Like, I would wake up on the ground getting fucked by 10 guys.
Hey, maybe the 6th one you'll get for free.
Oh, God. But yes.
Like a fucking punch card.
Oh, God. Such a sad punch card.
Listen, we are using humor to cope with trauma. It's our trauma.
This punch card at punch cards. But, yeah, I mean, I was very good at navigating safety. Hence, I am a man. Even though I was very, very small back then, like I weighed like 140 pounds.
Oh, you little twink.
I was a twink, honey. I was definition of a twink.
You're a twink.
So, but nonetheless, I was still a guy. But, like, I learned later that the psychology of mirrors makes you question your morality. So if you want to act in a bad way, if you see a mirror, it makes you question those bad actions.
Yeah.
So I did not know this well before until recently, but I would coat my house with mirrors, not for the fact that of that reason, but I would do it and make the illusion of bigness, also so they could see the show.
Yes.
Right?
But also, like, mirrors are hot.
And mirrors are hot.
Mirrors are
but
hot.
I also didn't realize that maybe some of my safety did
dependent
on the mirrors of them questioning themselves.
Yeah, because if they were to, like, rape you, then they kind of have to they're forced to look at themselves raping you.
Which makes them second guess it.
Yeah.
I will say there are, unfortunately, some marginalized groups that I was more cautious about that carried more homophobic tendencies due to cultural influences.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to play a very heightened role, unfortunately, with a lot of my Jamaican clients.
Heightened in what sense?
Awareness.
Okay. You have to be a little more. You have to be a little more aware.
They would treat my asshole like a vagina with their monster dicks, which is like, you have to teach them that this is an asshole. You got to start slow, then you can go fast, right? You know, all that shit.
Yeah.
But then the shame that comes after the coming. And the shame that comes after the coming can either involve in violence.
Yeah.
Like you get the shit beat out of you. Them stiffing you. Because a lot of times I never asked for money in the beginning. Like I never asked for money up front. Because I would block the door and beat the fuck out of somebody. Panic, running out of the door, freaking out. Sadly enough, this is not I've been not robbed, but I've had money taken from me. I've had Jamaican clients stiff me. I've had them, so like unfortunately, if I know you're Jamaican coming into my household, I have to ask for money up front. And it's such a bad connotation. But the one rape I had was by a Jamaican man. Yeah. The one was by a 300-pound Chinese man who tied me up with a pillow over my face. And the other one was a white dude at 3 a.m. who I should not have taken, who just rammed it in me with me fight my ass off and tore me for days, right? So
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you never, rule number 1, hoes, never take a client after midnight, no matter how broke you are. They're always a hot mess. Yeah. They're always on meth. They never come. They're sweaty as fuck, and they never leave your house because they're fucking coked out. And all they want to do is talk.
The only time I took a client at that time was because they landed at Pearson and there was a red eye. And I'm like, okay, now I got to get myself to the Sheraton across.
Oh, honey, when you have bills and rent to pay, and food to feed yourself and cigarettes, I've taken clients before 3 a.m. I had to. We all have had to.
Yeah, we all had to.
What I would do is with my roommate, be like, "Where's our roommate home? She's in bed. She has her headphones on. She's gonna lay in bed." Yeah, and we would do that to each other, and we would take our clients at 3 a.m. We had rules around it, very clear rules. Her and I, 20 years of friendship. We fell apart, unfortunately, but because the sex work ruined her, and I got her into it, and I think she holds a lot of that blame on me. We talked about this last time. She's the woman who had the client die inside of her, and of all things, girl, I've given a blowjob with a gun to my head involuntarily. Yeah. And I will always say what happened to her is way fucking worse.
For a client to die while he's
rock hard inside of you, so now you got rigor mortis. You gotta pull that rigor mortis cock out of you. Out of you? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Of a heart attack or something, right? Yeah. Or an aneurysm or something? Oh my God.
In his house with his, wife coming home situation,
That's
right?
So crazy.
Luckily, she takes money up front. She made sure she put the cash in her purse while she was called the police.
Sure.
She looked for the envelope.
I don't care if you're past.
I will call 911 after I get the envelope.
You still need to cash out.
She's but she had to push him off of her. She's also 200 and some pounds.
Sure.
She was a BBW, white BBW, so she was super popular. She had the ass. She had
an ass for days.
She had a 67-inch ass. It was huge. And she had like a 28-inch waist. Like fucking astronomical. She was, but women had it so much worse.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible. I would hate to be a female sex worker in Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible.
Or like anywhere in the world.
Horrible.
Really. Yeah.
Horrible. Men are gross. What they deal with is 10 times worse than what we deal with.
Yeah. So like amidst all the fucked upness of men being your clientele and having to worry about safety, you still kept it going for 13 years.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I just was good at, like, I mean, touch wood, I was good on my feet.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm really good at talking myself out of a bad situation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if I can equate anything back to my childhood, like, I've had my mother beating me to the inch of my life when I was 6 in the corner because I gave her the middle finger. And I was screaming at her, like, Mommy, I can't breathe. Like, Mommy, I can't breathe.
Sure.
Mommy, I can't breathe. And, like, having that, like, moment of, like, recognition of what she was doing stopped it all. But like that fear of 6, of being that savage beating by my primary caregiver puts me in a heightened state of awareness.
Yeah.
All the time. Right? And that is like, I'm so fucking observant of what is happening.
Right.
But when trauma happens to me, I mean, let's like I drowned it with drugs. Like, let's be perfectly honest. Like, I mean, I lost my business, became a G addict, and then the problem started. Right, as soon as the drugs happened, then the problems with the clients started. Like, I'm not saying there weren't problems before, obviously, because I was raped before I was a drug addict, but things compounded, especially after the drugs happened. And maybe that was the one that set it. It's hard to say what set it off. But like, it started off so slow. It starts off, have a cap with sex. Have a cap with sex. Takes the edge off, girl.
Yeah.
You're not realizing what you're doing, and fuck, you can enjoy it. You're like, great, you're 300 pounds, overweight, smell like shit, but you know what? I'm high on shit.
I'm high as shit. I don't give a fuck.
I'm having a good time. Everything inside of me is electric. And then it turns into, well, why didn't we have it while we watch a TV show?
Yeah.
Oh,
why not?
Why not eat on it? Oh, eating on it? Amazing.
Yeah.
But this is a date rape job. And next thing you know, I'm doing a cap every hour of the hour. That's for 6 years.
For 6 years? My God. I can't imagine what it's like to be constantly high for 6 years.
Yeah. Every day.
6 years is wild. Although, I mean, we had met on the tail end of your recovery.
We've been in 2023, right?
Yeah.
So I was sober November of 2022.
Right.
And we met in the spring of 2023.
Yep.
So I think I was maybe 4 months,
3-4 months sober at
that time.
Wow.
Which was to go on stage and talk about anything 4 months sober. Was
sure.
Fucking intense. Like,
yeah. And we were introduced to each other by another sex worker.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So like, it was like, Jesus Christ, it was a lot that was going on internally.
Tight.
Skimming inside of me. But it was a long journey, sobriety. G is not one that's talked about very often in our queer community of addiction, because it's on the lines of heroin and alcohol because of physical dependency.
Yes,
and
or even meth.
Meth doesn't give you physical dependence. You can withdraw with meth in a treatment program where they don't have to put you in a medically induced coma.
Oh, yeah.
I have to be put into a medically induced coma for 4 days because my heart stops beating.
Yeah.
I thrash. I have seizures, nonstop seizures, constantly. I died twice. Like, my heart stopped completely twice in the hospital. Like, I was goner. Like, they brought me back.
That's so...
I attacked my nurses. I ripped out my own IVs. It was all in the middle of COVID.
So you were having psychosis?
Yeah, complete psychosis, completely losing my mind. And this is during COVID.
Yeah.
So there were dead bodies everywhere. Like, I'm telling you, I was in a room for over 24 hours with 2 dead bodies.
Yeah.
There were dead bodies in the hallways. So, like, and everybody was saying, like, COVID's not real. I'm like, well, I'm in and out of the hospitals, and I don't remember seeing rows and alleyways of dead people. Like, maybe... What?
Literally, I see dead people.
Like, literally, and this is me in my experience.
Yeah.
And at this time, there was no AA.
No.
Or NA. they were all online programs.
Right, because of lockdowns.
And what does that do for me as a new addict?
Yeah.
I need face-to-face human-to-human contact, especially when it comes down to,
your addiction and recovery.
Right? So I pretty much just have to do it on my own. Just white knuckle it, basically.
That's fair. No, that's hard. That's tough.
It's not an easy feat. It's,
but hey, you found your way to recovery through...
and then I finally, the original dream of sex work in the beginning was to see the world.
Yeah.
And I was a big traveler at that time. Like at that time, I've traveled extensively before I was 20. It was like a way to make money as I could travel. And then as I got older, it was a way to get an education.
Which
I did, right?
Yeah,
I got a bachelor's of fine art, which not exactly useful in, practical terms. So I'm going back to school again for a psychology degree. So I'm using sex work in a way that benefits me, right? Rather than keeps me in the one spot. Because I'm well aware of the aging out of our industries. Like I know gay men have a longer shelf life than women. Somewhat, unless you get into the granny mommy phase stuff, which is very lucrative.
Yeah.
But men have a longer shelf life than most.
I would say so.
But then again, what happens after that?
Yeah.
What happens when you haven't built any skills outside of that? That was my fear. Because then I see it in circus, right? Like, what happens to you after 45 when the gigs are gone?
And nobody wants to hire you.
And you're not hireable anymore.
Yeah.
You're nothing but a teacher. And then you're teaching constantly, which is the biggest transition. But I'm not, you're a teacher. It's not exactly I'm buying a house with my teaching money.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. There's I'm a millionaire with the
being a teacher, right? But like, I've seen these two dualities and being like, the age and the time of it all.
Yeah.
Like how important the moment of sunshine that you face as a sex worker is so small. It is so small. And when that window slams shut, does that hurt?
It's violent.
Does that when you no longer fucking matter and you used to matter?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've used up.
Well, like, I didn't even use that, but it's just like, I felt like just all that, I miss the power. I miss the admiration. I miss being the person chosen out of thousands of profiles. I don't like the grinder experience where it's like I chose you because it's just I need anything, right? Like at least with this purchase,
sure,
I went through pages and pages and I chose you. So there was this element of power that I never had as a kid.
It was validating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a power I never had.
Yeah.
And here I am, and I'm in power. Yeah. And I'm boss. And you're worth hundreds of billions of dollars. I'm worth negative 2,376 because I'm back rent in 2 months. But I have more power.
Sure.
In this situation.
Yeah.
I'm holding you in my arms and you're telling me your dirty little fucking secrets. You know what I mean? Who's in power here, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and in a way, I'm like my biggest question of all, like as I move when it comes to like personal sex in the future, or when I'm very, very happy with James, but we I'm very open to him seeing others because, coming out so late in his life, I think he should enjoy as much fruit as possible. But
no matter how forbidden.
Yeah, just go out and try it all. But for myself, it's just, I don't know, like 13 years nonstop in this industry does change how I see sex, right? Like, it's just like, it's not going to be the grinder one-off hookup thing. It's not going to be that way. It's going to be the slow, old school model for me. Like, I want to know you. I want to,
Well, we were just talking about this, right? Where I recently visited a client from way back when.
Yeah.
And the only reason I decided to see him was because we had good rapport. And he is older now. He is 70 years old.
Yeah,
so it's been a while since we last saw each other, and he hasn't seen me in my new body yet.
Yes,
right.
Of course.
So I can see why, or not I can see, but I think I was reminded of why I enjoyed it for that moment in time, because it was like, oh, okay, this is us being our like authentic. I put that in quotes, right? But he was being like his authentic self, and it made me happy that I helped bring that out in him.
Yeah. Well, how long have you known him for?
Since the very first year.
Yeah.
I started
So there we go. So like, here's my biggest question. After that many years together, no matter how trained you are in self-deception or deception of self, they know you.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way I look at the guy in Montreal, right?
Yeah.
Like, as much as he calls me Jayce, as much as we keep the formalities.
Sure.
13 years together, girl. There's only so much of that wall that has been faded into now. You know me.
Yeah, because
right?
like
you know me now.
You can compartmentalize until the cows come home.
Like, we know each other by now. We spent so much time together. I've learned so much about your family and my family, and you asked me about like certain aspects of my life. So like,
that blurred line is kind of what was my final straw and what made me retire.
The blurred line.
Right? Because now it's like I was talking about this on another episode with another sex worker who's also retired, who's going into massage therapy now, so good for him. He told me how like sex work has fucked him up in a way where he doesn't even know if he's having sex for his own pleasure or having sex for
their
work.
pleasure.
For their pleasure, for work.
Yes, exactly.
And I related to that so hard that after we finished recording, I kind of just sat in my little recording booth in silence. So I don't know if you...
So I will say, like, the last personal sex I had was a long time ago. But it would be halfway through, and I'm like, I'm done with this.
Right.
I'm done. Get off of me.
Yeah.
I'm fucking over this. Like, you've given me nothing. I feel nothing here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just come and go. Get the fuck away from me. Like, it almost becomes like, it was like almost after 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It was just like, I was so over it. I was like, I'm getting nothing out of this.
Yeah.
You're going to come and you're not even going to say hello to me on the street.
Right.
Because do you know how many, I live in this village for 13 years and I fucked majority of the people in the village.
Everybody.
But then you walk, not a word. Off glare.
Where's the humanity?
And you're like, what the fuck happened? Did that happen back in the 70s?
Yeah.
Was that backing happen in the 80s? Or is this a new phenomenon? I'm really quite curious to know if this has always been the case.
Yeah.
But like, I'd rather get paid.
When I was working at Fleshjack, I'd get a lot more courtesy from retail customers than I did my sex work customers.
Like, honey.
Because I was working as a teller. I was in school. I was an intern for this accounting firm.
Yeah.
And I was doing sex work.
No, it's too much.
And of all the clients I ever had in any of those fields, my sex worker clients were the ones that treated me the worst, in the sense that outside of this interaction, I was invisible to them. And like, I get that. You know?
mean from clients?
Yeah.
Oh, see, for me, I preferred that. My rule for clients was like, we had a rule of no running into each other, no.
At first, yes. However, when I was reaching the end of my sex work career, when I was starting to feel like, am I still a person or am I like just a cum dump?
Like to them?
Yeah, that's when I was like...
Well, you're a cum dump to them, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like starting to want to reconnect with my humanity, and that's where the compartmentalizing kind of started to like take a toll on me.
Of course.
Right? So...
Of course. Yes.
And I'm not saying this to shame people who are in sex work or want to get into sex work, but I would consider this sort of fatigue to be kind of like an office job where you're like, oh my God, am I going to do this for the rest of my life? I don't want to be stuck in this thing.
It's right, because that's what happened to me, where I was like, oh my fucking God, how many dicks can I suck?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, I'm probably up at the 10,000 mark at this point. Girl.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, for real. Like, I've been doing this for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
But like, the understanding that like this needs to be temporary, and like it's such easy quick cash, but like It's like
the toll.
It's like the strippers who do stripping to put themselves through law school.
Yeah.
No different, right? Like if you're using it as a means to an end, then I think it's okay. But if it's like to a means to survival, unless you're willing to recognize your shelf life and have ability to pivot, you're in for ruin.
You're going to ruin yourself.
You're going to ruin yourself, and then it's going to be an eternal ruin.
Yeah.
Right? Where you're going to be depressed, or you're going to feel this certain way, or you're going to fall into drugs, or like, you know, I seen some very one sad post on Twitter. I won't say who, but they were like, you know, I'll keep selling this body till no one wants it anymore.
Oh my God.
Oh my fucking God. I was like, how self-defeatist in that comment alone.
Until nobody wants it anymore.
Like, and then what's going to happen after that when you've done like, and that was my biggest fear. So like sitting in with circus and teaching, I was like, look, at least I have that to put on a fucking resume.
Sure.
I've been teaching for Jamie for 10 years.
Yeah.
That looks good in a resume.
Yeah.
I worked as the nutcracker at Casa Loma. I worked as a knight at Casa Loma. I would do these things on purpose to make sure that I had something else, not even fall back on, to put onto a resume to show that I can do more than suck the chrome off a muffler. That's not exactly a
I am more than my hermetically sealed asshole. I am tight, yes.
I am good.
But I am also limber. I have a brain.
I have a brain, right?
Yeah.
So like, I found avenues to like, it's like, it was Maverick though. It was my first partner who was so fucking brilliant, but like he was so good at being big picture. Like he was like, this is small picture. This is big picture, right? Like this is business. This is money. This is how you should operate things. You know, this is how you build resumes, right? Like, even though he slipped into extreme schizophrenia, which, I mean, most brilliant people do, surprisingly. I don't know. I think I've heard that statistic in places where mental illness is more prone to people of higher intelligence. Even though meth-induced does trigger the schizophrenic gene.
It's the opposite of ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, exactly, right? You know?
The smarter you are, the more aware you are of the faults of the world and the human condition, which kind of makes you want to escape it.
It makes you want to escape it, yeah. And unfortunately, he just went down a darker path. I think a lot of gays go down. Like, I mean, how many gays have we known recently who have died of? Like, how many porn stars who just died? And you're like, and no one comes out and saying what actually fucking happened, right?
That's substance use, you know.
Substance abuse or steroid use, or unfortunately, poor Michael, you know, like people in our area, right?
Yeah.
Like, exactly. Jesus Christ, it's just like.
So, I mean, with that said, I think we should also have some sort of like fail safe or a way for sex workers to have something to rely on when they have that sense of their own shelf life. I don't know if you would agree with that.
Say it again.
I feel like there needs to be a system for sex workers to rely on should they find their shelf life.
But see, with a system, you would need to normalize sex work into society in order to start that dialogue. Like, we have places like Maggie's Place, but I'm not too sure how much funding they get with transitioning out. I knew myself as a male, I wasn't necessarily seen as my kind of place because it was geared towards trans and women.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, that is our only safe haven. But the thing is, it's just like, when you're in it, it is so hard to get out of it, because when you go work a real 8-hour day job at minimum wage, $17 an hour, and you're looking at what you can make, getting on your fucking knees and sucking some fucker's dick, you know, and you've done it already, you rode that bike, it's very hard for you to be like, because I had a boyfriend who did ask me to do that, make that choice. We were together for a year, and he was so mad at James, because James was part of my life, but James was okay with me seeing other people at that time, and I was okay with him. But my partner was like, and he was very rich. like comes from exorbitant wealth and, you know, has family to fall back on and close by and has all the privileges his mom bought us for his condo. You know what I mean? Like totally different world than where I come from, right?
Geez.
Completely different. And I'm like, my skill set is a high school diploma. What job do you think I can make to afford at that time $1,200 spending with Jada, $1,200 a month?
Yeah.
And then I'm also here with you every single day that you're not working, making you meals, hanging out with your dog. That wouldn't exist if I was with my high school diploma working minimum wage.
Yeah.
So what do you want from me here? What do you want from me here? You know what I mean? So that was the kind of pissed off with that, like why dating became a complete another aspect of sex work. Dating, complete fucking impossibility.
Oh yeah.
Completely fucking business. Like I would never date another sex worker.
I can't.
Have you tried? I've tried.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Horrible. Fucking horrible.
Here's the thing. I need to date someone who lives an almost opposite lifestyle than what I'm doing. Because I know the kind of lifestyle that I was living.
Yeah.
As a sex worker, it wasn't even a jealousy thing. Like if I tried to date another sex worker, I'm not the jealous type. It was more of just like our schedules are just so
all
opposite.
over the place.
Yeah, and
you
it was
never
more
know how to connect, or like
that
you would be like, oh, let's hang out right now. You meet him 10 minutes, you get a client and text you got to run out the door.
Yeah,
or like, you know.
And that's my main.
And then and there's some aspects of jealousy. Like, you know, there was some aspects for myself. I was jealous.
The jealousy being like, oh, why are you getting more clients?
Well, no, and I wasn't. I was getting more clients than him.
Yeah,
so
but there's that jealousy.
I was the sex worker that he wanted to be, where he was working the bar circuits at that time. Like he wasn't working.
Was this
like
Tucker?
I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was doing bar circuits. I was high hourly and traveling the world.
Yeah.
So we were very different people.
Uh-huh.
But I wanted fame and notoriety at that time because I was into circus and I wanted to be on stage and be seen as famous.
Yeah.
But then, you know, so I was kind of jealous of that aspect. And then we just I love him. I don't want to speak ill will of him at all. He's a wonderful person. But we just didn't mesh. He's a creative.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of sex workers are creatives. And two creatives almost don't mix sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, it's like almost like two narcissists trying to like be friends.
I'll send you, I'll send you the episode, but I interviewed him in last season. After hiring him for the hour, and I turned on my phone and started recording what happened within our hour to talk about it. I mean, was he the best? No, but he was the worst. It was just like maybe
the energies weren't working.
No, it wasn't even that. It was just like not all of my needs were met, but also like it's not a guarantee that all of my needs were going to be met anyway.
In one interaction, anyways.
Yeah.
The first interactions you're never going to get, you know, unless you're with a complete expert.
Yeah,
even they get things wrong too, right?
Exactly. So, Right. It was very much like I was getting drilled like a jackhammer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I did appreciate how he wanted to show off his gymnastic skills a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, by doing that thing where I'm in pike position, and then he would be on high plank.
Okay.
The eye roll is so real. Yeah.
I will say, as his partner, that never happened.
No? Shit.
In a million years. We had normal
vanilla,
good, not vanilla, but like we had good sex. I would say we had great sex. We were very comfortable.
Wait, how long were you guys together?
Oh fuck! I think a little over a year.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was the reason for that complete breakup. I was so high on GHB.
Really?
Like I was working the Halloween haunt with him. For 2 years. It's like maybe we were together longer, but I did work with them for 2 years on the Halloween haunt. But what was I saying with that? But I was so fucked up on GHB. So like, yeah, I'm mad. Yeah,
but you're happy with your romantic life now.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very content. I'm treated impeccably well, and I love him a lot, and I care about him a lot. And, you know, we have a great connection, and that to me means more than anything else. It's like, I find sometimes people my own age I can't even fucking talk to anymore. You know, like I find just...
I agree. I cannot talk to people my age.
They're like constant fucking eye roll, you know what I mean? I'm like...
It's so annoying.
Like either it's something about politics, or we're all so fucking handheldy, and we're all so... I can't deal with it.
With people who are younger than me.
Like, I've always been around... So... I was raised by my grandmother and all of her aunties, right? Who were like, there were 13 family members, so 7 of them were women. So I was always raised by older women. My first jobs, I was a server with women who were over the age of 50, right? Always when I worked at Walmart, I worked in layaway with women who were 80, 85. I've always worked with little old ladies, and now I'm with WAC. Fucking love little old ladies. They really are the fucking best.
They're the best. No, they really are.
They really are the fucking best.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you had something else to add on to.
I was going to, but my brain just tuned.
Okay, yeah, your brain just fully tuned.
I've been up since 7 a.m. We gotta remember that.
No, it's all good. Well, like, seems like you got everything, like, so good for you now, right? Like, I mean, in terms of retirement from a sex work perspective.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, I never want to curse myself. I do say my daily gratitudes all the time. But when it comes in the idea of what it means to be a successful sex worker, I think I'm a successful sex worker. Yeah. You know, like, I phased out. I made the right choices. Luckily, I had someone to stay by me to stay sober. I'm sober. I have my own home, touch wood, no roommates, a dog, a community, right? Like,
you have a passion that
I use the bad bits as motivator to push forward, to be smarter. I used all the good bits that I learned to implement it in every aspect of my daily life. Like, the way I treat a client is the same way that I would treat any individual on the street. Like, you see how I interact with everybody, right? Like, I give people my attention, right? Like, I'm aware of you, I see of you. So I feel like I've taken that from my sex work for sure. And it can be really fulfilling, and it can be, you know, lucrative, but like, just aim for the middle. You know, like, and that's where we're all gonna land. And like, you know, these expectations of these Dubai trips, or these, you know, getting, you know, BMWs and all that stuff is complete nonsense. Yeah. Right? It's complete nonsense. And if you come at it with realistic expectations, you know, maybe some therapy.
Lots of therapy.
You could be successful in it. And I mean, I think it has a little bit to do with intuition, a little bit of growing up in this atmosphere that I grew up in, being white. I will say being white absolutely has been a benefit. The world does treat me in a way that is vastly different than a person of color. But yeah, I think out of all of that kind of stuff, I feel I did make it, you know, and the idea of success is I got my needs met, got people who love me, people who care for me. I don't want for more. I don't want for less.
Sure.
I'm happy traveling. I'm happily being in school. So yeah, if I had to put up with 20s were fucking wet, wild, and covered in baby oil, and oh my god,
so be it.
Covered in my makeup, and god damn it, but like, I wouldn't change it for the world, because Yeah, I'm at a good place. I'm at a really good place, and
but also no matter what, like no job is worth your health, you know.
but the thing is that it's tough. Like I was able to the horseshoe at my ass, right? Coming across a man who wanted to take care of me. That is something that doesn't relatively happen in a city of 6 million people. That's a rarity. That happens in places like, New York. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I was very lucky to have that approach to get out of this work. But with economics, like I could not imagine entering it now, just getting out. How could you if you knew nothing else? And like, I don't know. I do feel. I feel for them.
Yeah.
I feel worried. Yeah.
Well, hopefully anyone listening to this is going to heed our advice.
A little bit of hooker advice. A little bit of
hooker to hooker to retired hookers. Now.
Retired hooker to retired hooker. I mean, that's
to other hookers that are watching or listening to this now. So
if you want to hear more crazy fucking stories,
I'll have you on for probably another episode.
Serenade you to death with crazy bullshit. But that was good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you too, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A nice listening to whoever's listening and meeting my dog. He's been very invasive.
And thanks for listening.
Wanting to be involved so much.
He's the star of the show.
He really is.
He really is. Oh, Calvin, you are such a diva.
Such a diva, baby.
I love him. Oh my God.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. Sex Ed with Tim is created and produced by me, Tim Lagman. Music is Aces High by Kevin MacLeod. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GaySlutClown and at Sex Ed with Tim. You can also like and follow me on the Sex Ed with Tim Facebook page. If you enjoyed the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.